Hey guys, welcome to a brand new session of GDSC AIKTC by the name Design to Develop. My name is Tausim Mushtaq Ali Sheikh. I am a core team member of GDSC AIKTC. I'll be conducting this Design to Develop session with my fellow core team member by the name Simran Mapari. In this session, we will gonna learn about designing, about UI and UX, about what's the difference between UI and UX with all the details with it, and also how to develop a application or a web app using our design or by creating a design or UI for it. So let's talk about designing. Designing is basically a plan or a drawing made to start a project. To start a project, in the sense, project starts with an idea, then with a design on which developer works, or a designer helps the developer how your application or website should work. Secondly, I would like to talk about UI design. There could be different designing on different aspects. There could be someone designing some posters. There could be someone designing some apparels. There could be anything. But here in our line, in our computer science, we more prefer the UI designing. So what is UI designing? UI designing is basically user interface design. What a user sees, what a user can feel, what a user can catch an eye on of an application. Why UI designing? Because the best thing app or the best thing any web app can do is to attract people by either by the quality of content what it has or by the looks of it. So UI designing is one of the most crucial part of an web app or an application, because by the help of UI designing, it makes the user experience very good. With with UX, the main difference is it's basically the functioning or the working which you can see while using the application. UI is the glance, I would say, and UX is the working of it. Here we will gonna be using different UI UX applications. You can use some of them, but right here we will be using Figma. Why Figma? Because it's browser based. You can just log in onto the Figma application by your Google ID. You don't have to create any other ID. You can just log in via your Google Gmail ID, and you can directly download the application to use. So let's get to the Figma, shall we? So you can, if you haven't noticed, this PPT is also made on Figma. This is what Figma website looks like. You just have to type figma.com and it will just open. For those who want to try this session on hands-on, can surely go on to figma.com and surely can work on it. So let me share you my screen. Yeah. This is what Figma looks like. You get your accounts right here. You get your community tab where you can uh, install any plugins. Uh, these are some of the items where you can upgrade. You can create a team where you can add certain projects. For the free version, you can only add 3 designs, but you can have there are some drafts where unsaved or unteamed projects are placed. For starting a new frame or a new application, you can surely go from here, from the right side, where it has different shows where you can use Figma. So we're gonna go from Control N, or we can surely go to this design file. Okay, load. Yeah. So in this Figma board or the new design board, you have three parts to it. First is the main working part. The right side is the design, prototype, and inspect side, where you can change the designs of a certain element you have been adding. You can prototype these elements you have added. You can inspect and get some snippets of the code of that elements. Here are the layers and assets, where you can surely add different layers to the to your design, or you can add different assets by downloading them. This this lane, this is like your task bar of the any application. Here you can export, you can change the layout, anything. You can go to their website, anything. This is view or skill button, where you can move your design, you can select anything, and you can scale anything. Here is the frame. So in Figma, we use frame everywhere. Because take an example of a video. Video is basically multiple images working in a frame, in a sync for a video to be produced. So we work in frame everywhere. These are some drawing tools where you can have. I'll show you some shortcuts where you can use or make that file. This is a pen tool to make a design, to make a certain shape of your own. There's a pencil tool to scribble on your application. There's a text field tool. There is a hand tool to move to move your design, and there is just some comment tool where when you collaborate with someone, Figma is best for collaboration. You can just I give the share link, and they can use your design for its own collaboration. From here, I would suggest to go on to figma.com, as it is there in the messages, or you can download the app. That's it. And please be free to be just be chill in this session. We'll not having any burden, because these 3 days, we have divided this session in 3 days, on which we'll be taking 1 or 2 day, 1.5 or 2 days for the designing part, and another 1.5 hour or 1 hour for the development part of it. So be there, be start Figma from your end, and let me know in the message box. If you don't understand anything, if you want me to repeat anything, if you want a bigger picture, of you want something else, feel free to. So while you are installing Figma, let me show you the plugins for which Figma is uh, very helpful for the designer. So there are different many plugins which you can use. So one of them I'll show you, which is Unsplash. This Unsplash is basically an application for the independent photographers to upload their photography, to showcase their skills. So here, so most of the photos are uncopyrighted, non-copyrighted. You can use anywhere, but it's a good practice to give them credit. But here we can just install this plugin and use it to add photos, add attractive, phenomenal photos into our design. Uh, It will be better if you show how to download plugins. Yeah, yeah. Uh, we will add one more plugin, which is Icon. So there's one more thing. If you don't find any of the plugins right here on the Figma, you can here. Wait, let me share the screen. You can just write Icon icons Figma plugin, which is icons 8 basically. You can go to Figma, install Figma plugin. It will go to the website, give you an option to download. You have installed, and where I can see, we can go to plugin section right here. Wait, just a sec. You can go to you can right click on your screen and go to the plugin option where you can see the plugins you should have installed. This is Unsplash. It will open right here. It has different photos. It has different images. You can use these images anywhere. Are we on the same page? Have you downloaded or have you installed Figma or have you on the Figma page? Just please let me know in the chat box. How to install plugin? Just go onto the plugin page of which plugin you want, and there will be a install button on the right corner. You can just click on it. Before that, you have to be logged into your account on which you want that plugin to be installed. That's it. It's totally simple. Again, I can show you. Plugin which will be used. There is one more plugin which is known as Iconify. So it could be used for emojis, it could be used for any icons. So this is what install button looks like right here on the top right corner. Just click on install and it will just basically install. One more, if you want one more, there's one Lorem Epson. Yeah, this one. This is one of the you get the text with the lorem ipsum. It doesn't make any sense. This text doesn't make any sense. It's just to fill in, to show the user that it works. So you can just uninstall that, and it will just get that installed. Okay. So should I start with the design? Just let me know in the messages. Yes, good. So, as I said, so there are three things you have to keep in mind. First, sorry, my connection was lost. Can you repeat once? Sorry, what do you want to want me to repeat? About the installation, right? So just go on to just go on to community plugins or just search on your browser about that plugin. Just for example, I am going Lorem Epson. Lorem Epson. This is the plugin I want. So here is the install button. You just have to click on this install button and it will get installed. Nothing else. There's one more. There's one more. If you want, there is one more. That is remove BG to remove background from different. Set. Okay, I have to go to plugins. Remove BG. Want to plugin tag? This is the remove a BG. There's a website also, so you can just install it and it's installed. So let's start with the uh, working of Figma. So there are three things you have to keep in mind. First, you have to have a clear idea about what you will gonna be designing. Either jot it down on your paper pen or get inspiration for it. For there could be some beginners. Okay, sorry, the screen font is quite small. I guess it's not. Wait, let us start with the session. I will tell you what to do. I guess on application it's not working. If we get this issue again and again with all people, then we can shift to the browser side of it. So there are three things. First, you have to get the clear idea about your design. For the starters, there may be some people who might be starting this UI UX designing uh, just now, or you are the new one into this stream, so you can take inspiration. I quote inspiration from different designs. You should not copy different designs. It's totally unfair. You can take inspiration from them. You can have different. There are different websites for you to download different fig files where you can use it. One more thing, to import any fig file, you have to work on the browser app. Just drag and drop your design and it will import it into the application. Why they removed that feature, I don't know, but it's the latest feature in the latest build. Second thing is naming. Name everything as per your liking. Do not just let anything be anything. Like this application, we will be creating first page, for example, first page or first design. Let's give first design. So be correct with it. So try to name all the things. That this page I can give you sign up page. I can take anything, so just double click on it and you can take it. Third thing is make it simple for anyone to use. Okay, your design could be complicated with most of the things, but you have to make sure that that application is too easy for it. Okay, so let's start with the session. So you have to click you can, so as I said, the Figma or the designing works on frames. That's it. You have to create frame. If you create anything for prototyping, you have to create a frame, because on that frame to the next frame the application works. Okay, so let's create an frame. So frame can be created by using this tab or by clicking just F. While clicking F, you can see the right side of our application. It got some drop down menus. These drop down menus have different sizes predefined, which you can use. There could be some designs you want to be as it is, like for some posters, for some posts, for some banners. You can have different designs. But in mobile development, let's start with app development. So in mobile development, there are some of the fixed designs. For example, this is a phone, right? This phone has different layout of from different mobiles. You might have different phones, you might have same phone, but it will have different screen size. There comes the concept of scaling. Before scaling, we should start with this. things. So I will like to select. Let's go with the bigger phone, iPhone 13 Pro Max. It will create a frame for you. This is what frame looks like. You can change the name from here. You can change the name from here. This is the area where you will work on. Okay, cool. So let's change the name. This is let's create an sign up page and also a login page. Okay, so this is the first page. This is login page. Okay, it's a login frame we have created. Now we can add anything in this frame, which will be shown in prototype. Uh, is everyone till here? Is there anything you want me to change or you want me to say? Hmm. Screen font is quite small. Is this issue with everyone? Okay, cool. So let's move on to make it last so that we can see it properly. The issue is application does not allow that. So we will move on to Figma website. No worries, no worries. We will move on to different website. Let me just change this. Uh, Now are you able to see? You log in the background, all these things. You can zoom on my screen. It's completely visible. Thank you, Nilda. So to zoom in or zoom out, you can use your control button plus your scroll bar on which or plus or minus key, depending on what you are familiar with. Next thing is we should add elements into it, right? Yeah. So after class, sir, can you share recording? Yeah, sure, we will, but we would suggest you to be with us in this session because in recording and in hands-on, there are there is a big difference. You can try it right now and ask me questions, and I will be there to solve it. We'll surely give you a recording, but this is more recommended. So we should add elements, right? So first, as a login page, user should know that it is a login page. I will add a text meaning login. Okay. Looks like so. This it gives you an alignment, but so what you write comes here. It's a textbook property. Right here, when you can see the design tab. Is it visible? Yeah, it should. Okay. So when you click on some element, it will open the design tab where you can add different properties to it. So there is some there are some different constraints which you should keep in mind. There are some fonts you should not use, like different fonts like papyrus, papyrus, Arial, etc. The common which you use on a document. like Times New Roman, Times New Times. That's it. So we'll be going simple. We'll be using a Roboto. Gonna make it medium. If you want bold, you want black, depending upon what you want. I'll go with medium. It looks good. I can change the size of it. I would love to make it 20, 24, because it's what is showing you the application is all about. Let's change the login. It looks good when it is in lowercase. Okay, you can change the uh, alignment of it. You can make it left align, right align, center align. It's a good practice. You make the surroundings the size of your text, because it might get goof up. Like if I want to add something, it will go to the next line. Okay, so it depends on the user what it wants. Next is the, we have talked about text. You can change the color of it. You can have gray, you can have white, you can have black, you can change anything. You can write the hex code, you can write RGB code, you can write CSS, RGBA code, HSB code, anything. So I would love to be in black. And yeah, that's it. You can play around with these things. You can add effect to it also. The drop shadow effect, anything. So it does not look good. So, okay. Next thing I want this. I want to user to know what it has to do. So I will write what it has to do. Enter credential. Enter credentials. So this looks off. So what I will do is I will change the size of it. I will make it a size on which it will look good. Okay, so let's make it more beautiful. Let's lower its size to 10. It's too small. Let's go 15. Go 16, I guess. Yeah, 16 looks good. I will love this to be as it is. I think I said, let's change the color of it. Let's make it purplish. It look good. So I know some DD1, I guess. Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, this is the color I like. Uh, what the user will log in. So there is username and there is password. So we'll again create a field to enter user. So we will create a field name. Okay, sorry, name. Uh, let the user know what to enter. Enter your username. Okay. So here is what designing comes. Okay. So here you can add different things to your design. For example, I want it to be gray, not black, because it should not be prominent for the user to see whether to enter or to just read what it is. Might not see this text, but there is a text. Okay. So here there are two ways to have an entry feed or a text box as an design. You can just add a stroke to it, which will have a borderline to it, or better approach is to create a rectangle. How to create a rectangle? Shape tag R right here will create a rectangle. But you cannot say anything of it. You can just send it backwards, but it still looks bad. So what we will do is yeah, alignment. What we will do is we will make it transparent. Okay, but you cannot see that rectangle. To select a specific part, अगर आपको वही चीज चाहिए जो आपको जिस पे टारगेट करना है, you will select from here, from the layers or from the assets. Here I will give it a name, username text box. Cool. So here this doesn't looks anything to what we have done. So what we will do, we will add a stroke to it. We will add a color. Let it be. Let's make it purple. This is what a box looks like, but it does not look good right now. Also, so let's give it rounded corners. We'll have to have 8, 5. With even number 6. Yeah, 6 is a good number. Let's make it around the enter your username. This enter your username looks way bigger. So let's make it smaller. So this is what your design looks like. Okay, this is what your design looks like. Now here comes the concept of grouping. You group certain elements which will help you to have a certain selection of elements where you can use or copy or keep them working at the same time. This doesn't look any good right here. It looks good. Let's make it 30 is good. Then you can change the size according to your liking from right here. And change the width. I can change the height. It is good in my opinion. This is 300 or 250. Okay, so what I I was talking about the grouping, right? So what is grouping? If I want to move these things, okay, so these things will never change. Enter your username will be enter your username throughout the application. So what I have to do, I have to select both of them and move around. What else I can do is, or I can use the rectangle, but only rectangle moves, or only text moves. So what I will do is I will select all of them. I will go to group selection or just use Control G. It will create a group right here. You can see on your left, which have both of the uh, elements. This also works on hierarchical value. I will show you. Enter credentials. I have entered the credential right here. So this have become a group. If I don't want enter credential, I will just take it out of the group, and this is not a group, right? Let's name the group enter username text box. Okay, this is what it looks like. Now, if I try to move it, it moves as a group. So we had okay, we have like this. So what we want username as well as we want password. So what we're gonna do is Control C V. I will have another field where it would have the same. So one more thing, when you add different elements or different layers, it goes on top, does not goes beneath it. Because what Figma thinks is the things you add afterwards. जब आप कुछ नई चीजें बाद में ऐड करते जाते हो, Figma thinks that those elements are important. So you have to change your hierarchy according to your liking. So second is password, right? Password text box. From the text box. Okay. Enter your username. I will change it to enter your password. Okay. So here is what I was talking about. Here is to give you the names. The same naam change hota hai, not the entry of the element. Okay. There might be sometimes there might be if you are working on these things. So there might be some things. Please repeat how to add the input field. Input field, as in you have to make a frame out of it, you have to make a design out of it, which is a further part of Figma. As to prototype your design, you can show them how to what your application would do, or what your design targets the people onto it. How we move in group. Group is just Control G, select all the elements, Control G, and now you can, yeah, perfect, Daniel, thank you. This is passed. Okay, we have got entered your we have got two fields. Enter your password and enter your username. Let's create buttons. Buttons can also be created very simply. Just we will. The best thing about this Figma and all other software is you can just copy and paste things, and you can use it again and again. This is a login button where we will write this thing as a login, and also here, and allow it to be in the middle of the button. Yeah, middle of the button. Let's change the color of it. So let's have it to be color I know, which looks good. So I will just select the username, password, box, login button. So I will have fill with this. I will just take this is the mixing slider where the आपको कितना opaque चाहिए उसके हिसाब से होगा ये. So I like this color, so I have done this. I can manually let it down. Okay, now this is a group, so we can take it anywhere. Yeah, this is what it looks like. Sign in, and we have thought to make a sign up, right? So I have copied and pasted. So here comes a concept of user using your application without getting distracted. Now you might think what it is, right? क्या है ये चीज? So when a design is made, it has to be in consideration of user using it as a normal. You have designed your design, you have developed your design, so you know what your design is for, but people might not know. So to make it the second point which I said, the design should be easier or as per the liking of the user or the client on for which you are working. So if I make a button with login or sign up, it might distract the user to use it. It might. We don't. It might distract the user to use this button. So what we will do, we will opposite the color of it. Opposite the color in the sense, we will select the rectangle, sign up. We will give them a good sizable sizes, but this is for what it should looks like. So abhi I will select the rectangle, then I want it to be opaque, but you can see the lines, right? The lines does not look any good. So what I will do is I will copy this, add this. You can change the size of the border also, but I want this border to be the color of the button, yeah, and also the color of the. Now tell me, will it look bad? Tell me in the chat. Do you feel to click on login first or sign up first? As a user, not knowing what this design works on. Login, right? So this is how basic things work. Okay, let's add a username and password section. The user should know what this thing is working on, right? So we will add a username. Let's finish it fast. Let's change the color of it. So best thing about Figma is if you want to change colors, it has its own color library built into it, which colors you are using right now. So I want my color to be the same as the borders, so I will use this. I will also again use this. Okay, cool. Username, password. This is how our page looks. Okay, you can add different fields, like if you forget any password, so you can surely add that. I have forgot password, but there is one more thing. You will look up on forgot it is eye catching because we created enter credentials eye catching, so this forgot password could also be eye catching. So what we will do, we will just make it a bit opaque, like the whole thing, we want the whole thing to be opaque. So yeah, the whole thing is now opaque. Okay, you can add CC, you can add anything. Let me show you how to use a plugin. Okay, I like this thing. I will make it 12. I guess, yeah, 12 also. So let's create a keep me login page. Okay, the keep me login uh, tick mark for our application. So let's write remember me, and let's change the color of it to yeah, looks good. Yes, remember me. It should come to below this thing, but there should be a tick mark right here, right? So for your demonstration, we will basically use our one of the plugin which is known as Iconify or Iconate, depending upon what you like. So I will just write tick to give me different ticks. I would go with square tick. Is there any square? Are you there with me or not? Yeah, it does not have any good ones, right? So we will just cancel it. We will use another plugin. There are many plugins for Figma. Yeah. Yes, all I want. Correct. Yeah, this one. I like this one. Okay, so this is what it is added. Most of the designers right now make their own tick mark buttons because it may be easier for us. Yeah, for remember. Yes, correct. We are working on it. Harsh. So this is what it looks like. If you want to change the color, there is no option for it because it's an icon 8 and it wants us to buy icon 8. So let me take you to a prototyping page where I will go to prototyping. So while prototyping, there are different options you can see. You can change the device on which you are working on. You can change the model of it. You can change anything. So I would like to have background white or black. It depends upon what you want to be as in prototyping or for the user to work on. So I like this design. This is the first draft of what our design should look like, and I will just click on present button. It will take me to a new tab if you are working on application, or it will work on the same application. So this is what our design looks like. Let me okay, no. So this is what our design looks like. There are two buttons that can make it more beautiful depending upon what you are working on. Color can be changed in icon plugin only in the right. Yes, yes, you are right. So this is what our design look like. Let's create our sign up design. So I will select this, control C, control. Okay. First thing, I have to change this to sign up and prototyping. Sorry. Okay. We will write create an account. I'm not changing the name of the items on the left side of the Figma because it will take so much time for us, and we have different things, different more things to work on. So we'll go right here. It looks good. It will copy. We'll paste. Because there are three fields you have to enter. First is your username. Second, it would be email. So simply you will write email. You will change it. Enter your email and enter your password. Cool with it? But it does not it does not look right because there are but there is a button which will take you to this page only. So we will delete this button, and since there is only one button, we can have a darker button to use. We will write sign up window. Okay, forward password we doesn't need any of this. Will give us a grid. So this is what our sign up button looks like. I will click on sign up button, and okay, cool. So let's connect these two buttons. Okay, let's connect these two pages. So here comes the work of prototype. Okay, so how prototyping works? It works in frames. You select a frame, you connect that frame from a button. I would like my sign up button. When I hit on sign up button, it will go to the sign up page. Just drag. It will have different interaction on what you want. If you want the user to drag, so it will go on drag. If you want your user to hover it, so it will hover it. Cool. So sign up should go back to. I took it back. Next thing, I think that's it. That's what you should look into this login sign up page. So I'll click on this button. I'll go to this. It will load. It will take time because it's an application. So you comes in. I click on sign up. It goes to know where you have done prototyping. Click anywhere else. It will just flash a blue screen on which there is. It will get to where to click. I will again click on this. So there's a thing you should keep in mind. Your application should be uh, traceable, or should be there should be some start point and end. Most of the people try to keep it the start as an end. That your application should start from a certain point, should go along with different parts of it, different features of it, and come back to what it is. That uh, this is what our first design looks like. You can create, you can surely make different adjustments to it on a website. Then what we have to do for the website, we will surely make a design for a website. We will surely, because currently I am showing this. So see, why we do designing? Cause of language which is known as Dart. In Flutter, we use Dart. We that makes that opens the door for different designers to design tremendous, phenomenal designs for an application. Let's take an example of VI, Vodafone SIM card application. On that application, uh, it before VI and Vodafone collaboration, it was horrible. It didn't work on any Android or iOS application. It was not pleasing to eyes. But when they collaborated, they used the lockdown period and updated their application with the help of a designer, which makes it so phenomenal. Just if you won't have any Vodafone SIM card, then to download that application and it will work flawless. There is another tab in the right side of the application, which is an inspect. What it does, it gives you code, a short snippet of code for the design what you have made. It could be helpful for developers. The start, this is small developer. This page can use this inspector tab, because there's nothing into this to create a certain variable for a button or variable for something. It will work flawless. So I went to inspect. It will has its properties. It will have the border size, the CSS code into it. If I want an Android Flutter code, it will have its own Flutter code. Does not use this code into the CSS code. Let's take example of the CSS code. Use this by creating a class or an ID, a specific ID or specific class according to it. One more thing, I was talking about naming the buttons or naming the things. You can see here there's written login button. You can zoom to the screen or you can see login button. This makes the developer, this make easier for the developer to develop something. If a developer is creating this page, for example, so what a designer do, designer does not just create an page or just usko ऐसे ही submit कर दिया and developer will work on it. To make it easier, there is an ID, there is an application called Figma, there is Sketch, there is Adobe XD, to make it easier for the developer to work on. For example, these two things, uh, if this page would be scrollable, if I'm saying if this page is scrollable, we can make it by just extending it, selecting the frame and extending it. Let's make it okay. So while developing this page, the developer should know what things should be there at what point. So to do that, I will create a group, right? We can surely create a group to know that this thing is into this and these things should work together. But there is an issue, because if the developer is in a hurry or have a deadline very near to, what I can do is I can create a rectangle, can make it opaque, and this rectangle will have information that this thing should be work in a container, or this thing. Let's take these things. The username and password should be working in a container. You should give a login credentials. You give a name to it. So this will help the user to target the design very easily. Cool. So if I share this, now the application is scrollable. But while making this application, the developer will know that these things should be targeted first, then these things. This concept is mostly used on website development. App development most of the time does not need those things, but for reference, you should have that thing in mind to name everything according to it. It will make the user, because see, for example, the login button and sign in button looks identical. What you can do is you can surely uh, create a class. uh, in CSS you can create a class, you can add different properties to it, you can add different name to the button and have property of same class into it by just using these things. It won't have any color, it won't have any different aspects, but it has the position left, right, and all those things. So you have to work on it. So
Hello, sir.
sorry, yeah.
Sir, can you again explain that sign up part?
Sign up. What you want to know?
Then
The
from
prototyping.
login to sign up, how we connect?
Okay, prototyping, right?
Sir,
So let me remove all these prototypings. Okay. So as I said, तो आपका application should start from a point and end to a certain point. That's the whole goal of an application. It should not hinder anywhere. Let's take an example of iOS 15. Uh, iOS 15 update. In the beta version, iOS 15.0.2 or 3, they changed the Safari browser. पूरा एकदम revamp कर दिया Safari browser. But what they did was they thought key application should be minimal. So what they did, they removed the refresh button from it. The designers removed the refresh button because they thought every website refreshes itself when it's pulled down. जब आप उसको pull down करते हो, तो it refreshes itself. तो उस चीज को ओवरकम करने के लिए उन्होंने मिनिमम बनाने के लिए they removed the refresh button. But right now in 2021, there are people with creativity. They remove the pull down refresh feature from it. Some of the website won't work on it. There was some other issue when you, let me show you right now. So I will show you my, this is what my website looks like. Okay, so it's still loading. So the what they have changed, they have taken down the uh, address bar right down. So it looks good. It looks good. It gets away from your liking or from your safe, because Chrome has a uh, address bar right here. So when I click on it, see right here. That's one more issue. When a website is scrollable on horizontal, it does not come up. So
sir, I
here,
guess
yeah, I'm coming
I
to your
guess you
point.
are not sharing that screen.
No, I'm not sharing. I'm showing you on my oh, sorry, camera phone. Camera. It's on. It's a bug in phone. It's a bug in phone. So yeah, here you can see. Sometimes it shows, sometimes it's not. And one more bug is when you take it horizontal, vertical, the status bar goes, the address bar goes up. So these are some mistakes which the designers from Apple does. It is a big company, still does. So one thing you have to keep in mind, your application should start from a point and end to a certain point. It could be the start point, it could be the end point of that application where you should add a back button or something. So what we will do is we have frames. I told you we will be working in frames. So we have two different frames. We go to prototyping. Okay, in Figma, they have added the fact, if you are using a rectangle, it will be used in certain ways, like it will be used as a button, it will be used as a text field. So it will treat it as a frame. So on frame you will have a button, a plus button. You will just drag that button, it will show you an arrow, and you will connect to the page. So I want it to go to a page, so it will let's connect it to a page and it will get connected. There are some interaction details. So what should be the animation? It should dissolve, it should start something else, or how should it be working on? Because there are certain ways you could scroll on it, you could tap on it. So I want it to be tap, and you can have overlays, you can have anything, but I want the page to be dissolved and open to another page. So I will select the navigate. And what will it do when sign up ke page par aa jayega? Where will it go? So what we will do is we will select the sign up page, and to make it minimalistic, I won't add any back button because it doesn't look any good on future applications or newer applications. So what we do is we connect this sign up to the old page, same interaction details, and that's it. You get a flow name right here. You can edit this flow. You can edit the name and also the description of that flow for the developer to be seen easily. Now what you will do, you will to check whether it is working or not. Sorry, it I forgot. Ki it should not go to sign up from here. It should go from to sign up. Okay, it says login. We want sign up to it. Okay, cool. Yeah, you understood what it is. You will. I will go to this. Start the preview button, and now what it looks like. Now to know where to click, I will click on sign up. It will go to here. I won't have any back button, but I have sign up button. I will go to sign up. It may have multiple pages to it. It works fine. Any doubts, Anand?
No, sir.
So let's move on to different a small design. So Figma can be used to have different snippets of different UI designs. Let's create one. When you go to our website, there could be some link for registering any to register for any session or to register for anything. Let's create a new design for it. Let's create a layout, a front layout for it. So let's make it fast. Okay. Do you all using Ajax for not refresh the page? Yeah, sure. You can. Those are backend work. We work on front end. That's it. फ्रंट एंड डिजाइनर का जो एक लिमिट होता है वो वहीं तक आ जाता है जब उसमें कुछ बैकएंड लगने लग जाता है. When you do both, you become a full stack developer. Either you are a backend developer, either you are a front end developer. So let's quickly create a design a small, what we say, event card. Let's call it event card. Okay, let's create. We will have some good stuff after this. I will show you how to create a different style of out of it. Are you all with me? Let me know in the message box. Yes. Okay. So let's create a frame first. As I said, let's create a frame. We will create a custom frame. Okay. I created a frame. Now I can change the size of it, but I want a custom frame. Let's make it of 400 by 400. Okay. It looks a bit weird, so we will go with what we should go with. Should go with 350. Yeah, now it looks good. This frame will be known as event card. Okay, let's make it quick. Let's have a work on it. Okay, I will create a rectangle. I will press R. I will create a rectangle to it. Okay, I want this rectangle to have a certain color. It could be anything, but let's take a predefined color. Okay. Okay, this event card looks good. Let's shorten it down. The rectangle, let's shorten it down a bit. Let's make it okay. Constraint, no constraints. Let's make it in the middle of it. It was 400, right? 400. So I will go with 380 and 450. Let's say 50 message. I will make it in the middle of the page. Okay, cool. This looks good, but there is a fad going on for rounded corners, so we will make a rounded corner. So this is our main working page. So I will add text. Let's create an event card for this session. So design to develop GDSC AIKTC. This is what it should looks like. Should let's make it just to make it good. We will design it afterwards. Start. Uh, Start time. Okay. Make one more with the name with the timing. Right. Start time is October 15th, 3 p.m. Okay. This looks good. This is what I want. Okay. I will group them. Okay. Press shift to select multiple things, not control in this thing. In Figma. Let's create a group. I can surely make it big, small, depending upon what I want. I will go to Control C, Control V. I will create the end time of it and time, which will be inshallah on 17th of October, 5 p.m. Okay, this is what our design looks like. This is what our group looks like. This is what this group looks like. Okay, so let's create a button. Let's create a button. So how we will create a button? We will create a rectangle of size, let's say, okay. We'll create a button. Let's give them colors so that it will make easier for us to work on. We want users to get connected with us, not to just look on this design and feel like, oh, great designer. But we want users to work to have a good working on it. So what I will do is uh, I will have two things. First, I will make it this color. Okay, cool. This is inversed. Now I will add text. Text I will write register. Register is right here in the middle of this button, and I will have one more thing. Okay, I haven't used groups right now because I won't need any group. So add to calendar, which will take this thing to the Google Calendar app. Go to colors panel. I will go to color. Okay, I haven't selected any color. Look good. I will use a plugin. So there's one last plugin. I will use Icon 8. Let's use different plugin, right? Use Icon. Sorry, my bad. This muscle memory. Calendar. Import icon. The icon has been imported. It says no, it's not imported. Let's use this different. For simple designs, you could surely use this, but for higher level designs, what might have a different impact, you can surely use this thing where you can create your own designs using rectangles, using squares, using different aspects. This is what it looks like. Now let's make it beautiful. Okay. So I want it bold. I want it 60. No, 60 is too big. It's still too big. 40 is still too big. 45. 20 looks good, right? Let's change the. Now it looks big. 80. Start time. Same thing. It's way big. Okay, this looks way big. So we'll go with 120. 30 is good. Let's make it 35. Yeah. Register looks bad. Okay. Buttons are made. Same size, 130 by 35. This may look tedious, but when you start doing it, it becomes way easier and way fun than what I'm doing right now. What's the size of this? 30, right? So I will make it 12. 11. Till I'm creating the design, you can ask some questions on what you are came here for, what idea you want. This looks a bit uh, medium. Best thing about Figma using these things is you don't have to add or you don't have to have installed different fonts or different things into it. When someone clicks on a design, it will look like this. This is what you can do, right? So after this, for a quick design, I would like to call one more our fellow uh, teammate, Mr. Daniel Dolare, to surely join us. You understood what I am trying to make? Is there anyone feels what I made?
Hello.
Yeah, yeah, Daniel.
Hi, Tosif.
Yes,
Hello, everyone.
just Daniel, just a bit. I will show you. I will show them what it should look like.
Yeah, sure.
What I have made. So on a website, when there is a register button, when you click on register button, this should pop up, and when you click on register, it will register you to the session. Or when you click on the add to calendar, it will add a reminder. This is one of the designs what you can make as an UI element, or which will make your UI more elegant or more usable. Over to you, Daniel. That's it from my side today. Daniel will be conducting the next the further session. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Tosif. Thank you
My
for
pleasure.
yeah. Thank you for showing us how we can start with the UI UX design and how we can start with Figma, all the basis of Figma, how you can create a basic app layout and how you can prototype from one screen to different screen. Yeah. So it was a lot more informative. I hope like all of you have understood what he has explained. It's like very basics and easy. When you go on doing all this stuff, you will get it very easily and then you can start with this UI UX design. So I just want to check, am I like audible and visible clearly? Yeah, yeah. Thank you. So now we can proceed with the further presentation. So if there is any lag from my side, whether it be voice or presentation booster, just remind me, just tell it in the chat or through the voice message. We'll just fix that. So now we now see that how we can create two different app layout and prototype between them. And then Tosif showed us like how you can create a basic poster like thing, a different card layout which you can send it to someone, which you can like add it into your website or anything, or it could be a blog post, so that it looks a bit welcoming to the eyes. So like people can you can attract the people's attention through a simple UI. That's why this UI takes an important role, that it attracts the user attraction, so that you can get more people throughout your site. Yeah. So now we will going to see what I will be teaching you for now. So here, first thing I will be teaching you how you can create a hover button. So if you don't know what hover button is, like you can see that my cursor is moving here on the screen. So whenever you keep your cursor onto an element onto your screen, So whether it can be a static element or can be dynamic element. So if it's changes its let's say state, it could be like a color or it could be size, it could be anything. So this property is called as hover. So like my mouse is on the white screen, so if I move it over to the button, hover it over to the button changes its color. So if I will zoom it, it will be clearly visible. So now cursor is on the white. So if I keep it under the button, just changes its state. Just change the background color to a little bit pinkish, and then it's changed the text color from black to white. And also it is animating, like if you can clearly see, it is animating from the center to the right and left. I also have created similar. So here the transition is like a little bit slower. So you can clearly see that it is animating from center to right and left. So there might be some lag due to this Google Meet. So like if it is running here in 60 FPS, it would be visible to you at 30 or 25 FPS. So like you can clearly get an idea at how it is animating. So let's just see how we can create this hover effect using Figma. So now we'll create a new design file. I'll just name this design file as hover button. So to create this hover button, this it actually contains like a text, and then outside the text we have some padding and we have a border, and there could be like a different background color. So hover button has like an initial state and the state at hover. So initially it could be white plain background, and at the hover state it could be like a different color background. So for that we have to create two different hover button, and then we can use the prototyping to animate it to the effect. Like when we hover, when we drag the mouse onto that button, so it will animate to second step. So first we will go on and create the first step. So for that we will firstly take a text. So you can take a text from here, and then just name it as hover button. I will just increase it a little bit so that it will be clearly visible. Yeah. So we have created this text. You can use the text shortcut from the top pane, or else you can just type T onto the keyboard, and then you can write a text easily. Yeah. So we have created this text, and now what we are going to do that we are going to use a special property which is in Figma, which is called as auto layout. So auto layout help us to like make it more flexible. Like if we have anything uh, onto the Figma, we can auto adjust its size, or like if we adjust the size of the uh, if we have some contents in a rectangle, so if we adjust the rectangle size, the content will adjust themselves depending upon the size. So this is what auto layout is helps. So we are just using auto layout to add a padding for the this text. So I will right click on this button. First, make sure that this text is selected, and then you right click and we'll click on this add auto layout. So you can use the shortcut of Shift plus A onto the keyboard to just directly make it auto layout. Like if you are bad with remembering the shortcuts, you can just right click and you can click on this to add the auto. So now we have added the auto layout, and now you can see in the right design pane we have something called as auto layout. So in this we have to go to this alignment and padding, and it is clearly, if you zoom in, it will be clearly visible to you. So it will be like it is aligning onto like top left, top right. You can align it in the center, bottom left or bottom right. So we will align it into the center. So you just click here. So now it is aligned into the center, and now we can also see that it has 10. So it says padding around the item. So our item is this text, and we have the padding of 10. Yeah. So we have added the text and padding. Now we just want to add the border. So we'll click on the frame and we will click on the stroke. So it has added the border. So with the stroke, you can add a border, you can change the border color, you can change the border width. So we will now make this border rounded from the corner. So we have this here curve icon. So we can increase it from 0 to 10. So it will make the borders rounded. So like we have the first set ready. Sorry for that. So we will just fill it with a blank white color. So to fill this button from inside with a blank white color, so we have to here we have fill property, and we have the add button at the corner. So if we just click on the fill or the add, it will add the fill, and we have selected the white color. You can select any color. So I am going with the white color as the initial state. So we have created this, and now what we have to do, like we have to uh, animate the hover effect from the center in a circular way. So for that we will have to add a circle in the center, and then at the final state that circle will increase so that it will look like an animation effect from the center. So to create a circle, we can just add ellipse from here, or you can use the shortcut O. So I will use the shortcut O. So if I click on O, so the arrow has changed. So I can create a very small circle. So if I zoom in, yeah. So here we have the circle, and it is currently filled with. So I can fill with a different color. Yeah. So here we have the circle. So what we have to do, we have to take this circle into the center. So for that, yeah. So with the auto layout, you can't just add any element into the center. If I add it, it just move to the grid way. So for that, first we have to remove the auto layout. So for that, we will click on the frame, and then here on the auto layout, we have the minus icon. So we will remove this auto layout, and after removing the auto layout, we can add this circle. So now we have added the circle. Now we just have to push this circle beside the text. So we will can do this from the left side. Can drag and drop the ellipse to the bottom, and let's just change the color of the circle to white. So this circle will not be visible for now in the initial state. So and then we will now just make a copy of this frame. So we will use Control C, Control V. So we have a copy of this frame, and in the final state, we want the background as light pink color and the text color as white. So for the background, we will be increasing the size of this ellipse or the circle we have added. So I will change the color to somewhat pink, and I will increase the size of the ellipse. Like this ellipse is behind the text, so you can select from the left side, and then we can increase. We have increased the ellipse, and now what we have to do is we have to select the frame and then click here. We have to click on the clip content. So now it looks better. We have to remove the border of the frame, so we can remove the stroke. So now it looks better, and then we can change the color of the text. So I will select the text and then change the fill color to white. Yeah. So now we are ready with the our first state and the our state. So what we have to do is we have to add the prototype. So for this, we will go on to prototype, and then we have to create a connection between frame 1 and frame 2. So I will just drag this from frame 1 to frame 2, and the interaction, it would be mouse enter. So mouse enter would be like when I enter the mouse into the frame, so it would be like a hover. So on the mouse enter, it will navigate to the second state, and the animation would be smart animate. In similar, from the frame 2 will come back. It will be mouse leave. So when we leave the mouse, it will move from this state to the first, and it would be ease up. So we are done with adding the prototype. Now we can click on run. Yeah. So now you can see the hover button. So my mouse is currently here, not on the button. So if I go onto the button, it will hover. So you can see the animation. So let me just change the background color of the prototyping screen. So I can change it from here under the prototype background. We'll make it white, and then I will again go to the page. So now it is the button is clearly visible. So if I hover into it, it will just animate to the pink button. So this hover is like very important for the user experience. So for static elements, you don't have to add any hover effect, but for dynamic elements like button, so you can add this hover effect to attract the user attention. So this is how you can easily implement the hover effect using the Figma. So and yeah, and I hope like you have all have understood how to do this. I was like think I was like very quick to do. Like, have you all understood? You can just type in the chat.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, yeah,
Sir, can you again explain that hover part?
yeah. So for the hover part, as you can see, this hover is coming from the center in a circular way. So for that, we have to add the circle. So at the first, we have added a small circle in the center, and in the second state, we have increased the circle so that when we animate from first to second, the circle will increase from the center, its size, and also it will change the color. So this is how the hover effect will come. So if we when we move from first to the second, the circle increases from small center to a bigger one with a change of color. So it looks like an hover animation. So for that we have to add this prototype. So from moving from the first state to the second, we have to make the interaction as mouse enter. So this means that if I enter the mouse onto this frame, it will animate and it will navigate to the frame number 2, which is the second. And the animation type, it is smart animation. So like Figma have smart animation, it will animate it correctly. And then when we, so this is like we have added the mouse enter effect. So when I leave the mouse from the frame 1, it should, from the frame, it should animate back to the previous state. So for that, we have to add another prototype from the frame 2 to the frame 1. So with this would be mouse leave. So when we leave the mouse, it will navigate. It will navigate to the first frame, and that would be smart animate, and it will be ease out. So through this, we can add the hover effect very simply. So I think it was Anand. Did you get it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So like I hope you all have understood how to create this simple effect. You can also see this effect onto our website. So you can see onto our website. These are the static content. and then we have a button here. So it looks like a square and a text inside, but it is a button. So how do we represent that? So we added a hover effect so that when we hover our mouse to it, it will change its state and color so that user can identify that okay, it is a button, it is clickable. So this is how like we use hover effect. It is mostly used for the desktop and for the website. So even if you like, if you are on a desktop, you hover your mouse onto the when you close your window of any app. So you have a cross icon. So when you hover your mouse into it, it will change its color to red. So this indicates that okay, you have to be alert when you close any window. So this is how like basic user interface or user experience work. Now we have the next thing, which is the dark mode switch. So you might have seen the dark mode switch into many websites and app. So if you click onto this, it will change from light to dark. So it is like a switch. So if I click, then only it triggers the animation from light to dark. So this is also very simple. We can create a new Figma file. So I have named it as dark mode switch. So to create this dark mode, yeah. So firstly we can take a frame. So we have to use frame. So I will create a frame. We'll just round its corner. Yeah. So I have added this frame, darken the color of the frame. Yeah. And inside this frame, we will add another frame, and that frame would be circular. So inside the frame, we have another frame. We just reduce the size of the bigger frame. So similar what we have done in the previous, we have to make two states, the initial one and the final one. So we have created the initial. So you can see here the initial state we have created, and then we have to create the final. So we can copy paste it, and here in the final state, it would be like the background color would be like darker. I can darken the background, and then this switch will move to the right, and its color is also dark. Yeah. So we have created our initial and the final state. Now we just have to prototype between them. So we can go to the prototype pane, and for the first frame, we prototype from the first to the second. And this animation would be on click, and on click we will navigate to the frame 2. And this would be like a smart animation. It would be easing. And similarly from the second frame, you will have to animate back to the first frame, and it will be same on click, and we will navigate to the first frame. It would be smart animation. So I'll just try that if it works or not. So I will just increase the size a bit. So if I just hover it, it doesn't do anything. I have to click onto it to animate. So if I click it just animate. So if I change the background color, it would be more visible. Try white background. Yeah. So on the white background is clearly visible. So if I click, it will just animate from back and forth. So this is much easier than the previous hover one. You just have to create the first state and the final state, and you just have to prototype between back and forth. So this is how you can create a basic uh, effects like hovering or like on tap or a switch. You can create a toggle switch or you can create a checkbox like this. So like I hope you all have understood how to create these small elements. Like in UI UX, these small elements like you can create this, you can add it into your website or you can add it into your app. So this is very helpful and Figma is a very powerful tool. You can do a lot of things using Figma. Like if you have any doubt, you can ask it. Like Baghdadi Amiruddin was asking like direct background color change नहीं कर सकते like we can directly change the background color but we want that hover effect from the center in a circular manner, so that's why we have added the circle. So anyone wants to ask any doubt or something? No. Okay. Yeah, so that's all from my side. uh, Hope like you all have learned a lot from this. Tosif, you will continue forward. Yeah, Tosif.
Yes. Thank you, Daniel. He is our UI UX lead for GDSC AIKTC. He has some he has great potential into these things, and from these things which you have seen is just a small part of UI designing what you are be doing right here. There is more to explore. There is more to create. There is more things.
Yeah,
It's endless. So it's five. It's close
yeah, it's
to five.
5. Yeah.
Yeah. We would like to end this session, and I would like to
हेलो.
ask. Okay. Yeah.
हैज़ यू शोन. आपने अभी जैसे मोबाइल में दिखाने का वो बताया था ना, वो
G.
वेबसाइट का कब बताओ.
G. We would be creating a website tomorrow from scratch, from the design from scratch, not using any design template or design anything. We will surely be using it and create a website with two extra pages, which will create a website with a login and sign up page, which is the most entry level thing you can ever create and work on it to make a better design. And surely, if you have anything, you can ask right now, or you should join tomorrow's lecture. It will be great fun, and we will also start with the development on the other half. So that's it.
So for tomorrow's session, the link will be the same.
uh, I think it won't be, so we will be providing you the other link with the day 2 name, I guess. This is the day 1 link. We
Yeah.
will be creating another link with the other name.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Anything else? Anything with Figma? Anything with installation? Any errors? Anything you want to ask? Any prototyping which you have tried in this session? Something else?
हेलो.
See,
Can you repeat the starting one, the installation one?
installation. Okay, let's make it again. Yeah. Daniel, can I please share my screen?
Yeah.
So this is your tab, your normal tab, you can go to the figma.com, where you can just write Figma into search bar and you will get different your Figma installed. Okay, if you want an desktop application because you find it tedious to work, so you can just write Figma download. It will give you a download page. Apps for you, Figma.com. Yeah, you can. Okay, sorry, my bad. Okay, this is what website looks like, and you can surely download the application from here. Download Figma for your Windows or for your Mac. This is right here. For Windows, for Mac, for iOS, for preview. You can use Figma Mirror app on your mobile phone to preview the design. Next thing you can surely do is installing the plugins, right? Next thing you can install plugins. So for plugins, you can straight away go to community tab. You go to plugins. You can have different plugins right here. These plugins are the most used plugins. For example, the Unsplash plugin, which we'll be using tomorrow. The Iconify, which we have used the material design icons with all the icons. To install this uh, plugin, you will just have to click on install. That's it. It will automatically get into your plugins tab. Let's go to our screen. Let's create a new file. And right here, when you right click, there is a plugin tab which will have different plugins. Remove PG, Unsplash, Lorem Ipsum. It depends upon what you want. Is there anything else?
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Um, you want something else to be thought? You want something to ask? Anything? Be free to ask. I'm not someone working hard into this, taking out time. I'm a freelancer in this UI UX designing, and I've got time to teach you all what it is. So feel free. Uh, yeah, sure. If there's nothing, you can surely ask me in my personal window on the group anywhere else. Uh, so let's see. Let's meet tomorrow. Surely it will be great fun tomorrow because we will be starting with a whole new website with the starting developing part. Or if the design is made very fast, अगर जल्दी जल्दी बन जाता है, then we will complete the session by tomorrow also. But we will try to take it slow to make it more interesting, to make it more interactive between you people. So this thing is all about creativity. Yeah, ekdam sharp 3 p.m. sharp. We will start from the scratch of the website. I will show you how to use frames. I will show you how to use multiple plugins. I will show you how to use the grouping system for the class, for the IDs which the developer would want to use. So I'll be showing you all. And our fellow core team member, Miss Simran Mapari, will be developing the website for you all using those techniques. So it will be great. So for those who have understood everything, can leave this session. Thank you for all for joining. Let's see you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Can you stop the recording?